Good evening. Today we'll be covering perek 1, part 4. What is the world balance? There is a balance to the world. What is it? But first we are going to recap from our last lesson. We learned about the clash between the clash between the body and the neshama. The Ramchal says that the purpose of this world itself is to enable a man to reach the closeness with Hashem, this closeness with Hashem, this connection with Hashem. If you look around, you'll see that everything in creation, from the highest manach to the lowest creature, everything has been created and was created for the sake of man. The Rambam says that it is not possible that any type of herb or fruit or plant or animal, from elephants to worms, that do not provide any benefit to man. It means whatever has been put in this world is for our benefit. Since the purpose of this world is to provide a place in which a man can attach himself to Hashem, so when man uses it to achieve that goal, the world maintains its balance. Again, I repeat, that there is a certain balance that the world has got to maintain. How do we achieve that balance? Just by making sure that we are actually using whatever is in the world for good, for the mitzvot, for the purpose that we're supposed to be using them for. By using them properly, whether it's this animal or whether it's the fruit or the herb or the plant, whatever it is actually being elevated. Why? Because it has served its purpose. On the other hand, when man uses something that not for the manner that it was meant to be, so that puts a distance between man and his goal, and between man and Hashem. By doing so, by not using something for the purpose that it was really created for, this herb, plant, animal, whatever it is degraded because it has served counter to its purpose, against its purpose. It is through life's challenges that we gain closeness with Hashem. And we all know. We all have had our challenges, our difficulties, and we see the difference that makes us pray harder, that makes us be more careful with mitzvot, that makes us take on mitzvot because we want Hashem's closeness, because we want Hashem's help. So it's through challenges that we reach that closeness with Hashem, and by reaching that closeness, we also get happiness. When things are being used as they were intended to, in the service of Hashem, they become elevated, as we just said. And for this, the Ramchal brings two examples. For example, the food and drink that a person consumes. Because we say a beracha, they become elevated as if they had been actually offered on the Mizbeach in the Bet HaMikdash. That's how water, which is just water, there's nothing to it. But because I made a beracha on it, it is as if I offered that water on the Mizbeach. That's to the point how this matter is being elevated by using it the right way. When Hashem, so number one, Ramchal says, when Hashem created the world, He created the light on the first day, but that light was very powerful. So powerful that Adam could use it to see from one end of the world to the other end. Adam Rishon was very tall. It says in the Midrash that he was so tall that when he stood up, he actually covered the sun. It's like those very tall buildings we have in Manhattan and anywhere where they are very, very tall skyscrapers, right? When you walk down the street is, the sun doesn't reach the street because those skyscrapers are covering the sun. That's how it was with Adam. So Adam being so tall, but having that light in the world, it afforded him to be able to see from one end of the world to the other end of the world. But then Hashem knew that there will be generations whose deeds, whose actions would not be so good. So what did Hashem do? So Hashem hid his light. He stored it away for the tzaddikim in the time of Mashiach. And that's why Shlomo HaMelech said in Mishlei, or HaTzadik Yismach, the light for the tzaddik is happy, will be happy. Why? What does this mean? Because the light is being used and will be used for the right purpose, it will be happy. It means that an object, we think an object is nothing. Water is nothing. I'm taking an apple, a banana, but yet because I make a beracha on it, it is happy. Yes, it is happy. How do we explain this? Because there is a malach that is who's in charge of each and everything that is in the world. Even over each blade of grass that grows, there is a malach that is in charge of it. And number two, the Ramchal brings the example of Yaakov Avinu. When Yaakov Avinu left his parents' house and he came to Har Moriah, he needed to sleep. He didn't realize that this was Har Moriah, the place where the Beit HaMikdash was going to be built. So he took stones and he arranged them around his body, right, to protect him. And he put also a stone for his head. He didn't have a pillow, he didn't have a mattress, he didn't have a blanket. So he did the best he could. And the Chachamim tell us that actually the stone, and Rashi says that the stones actually united. The stones were fighting. This tzaddik is going to put his head on me. So Hashem made a miracle that all the stones were united, so they formed one huge big stone. The fact that Yaakov Avinu was able to put his head down on a stone, that was a very big honor for the stones. But the stone is just an object. Yes, it is only an object. But the stone was used for its proper purpose. And for that, it became elevated. So from these two examples, we see how something, a stone, a fruit, a vegetable, whatever it is, can become elevated through the serving to Hashem, the service of Hashem. Chachamim tell us that when Hashem created Adam, he told him to go on a tour. He showed him Gan Eden. And he showed him all those beautiful trees with the smells and the fruit. It was so pleasant, it was so good. So Hashem said, you see what I have created? I've created all this for you, this Gan Eden for you. So please be careful. Be careful not to destroy, not to degrade my world, because if you do, then there is no one who will repair it after you. The damage caused through Averot cannot be easily corrected. So this midrash actually supports both parts of Ramchan, last point. The first point being the world was created for men. Second point was man has the ability to ruin or elevate the world through his actions. The world was designed and created to enable man to perform mitzvot and to bond with Hashem. This way, we achieve the goal that each and every one of us has in Olam Haba. So Chachamim in many places compare this world as the place and time for preparation, and Olam Haba a place to rest and enjoy. So Chachamim tell us, that's why Chachamim tell us that this world is like a passageway. You're just passing. It's a journey that you're passing, you're going through to reach your destination, which is Olam Haba. There is actually a very famous story about the Chafetz Chaim that says that one day a visitor from the United States went to see the Chafetz Chaim. And he comes, the Chafetz Chaim was known all over the world. So he expected to see a proper house with good furniture, nicely done. He came, it was a small house, humble house. And he looked around, there wasn't that much furniture. And he looks around and then he says to the Chafetz Chaim, he says, Rabbi, why do you live like this? You don't really have much furniture. Like, maybe he thought maybe he could help and get a better house for the Chafetz Chaim, get him more furniture. Chafetz Chaim says, I don't need more than this. I'm only traveling through this world. And that's exactly what Chachamim are telling us. We're traveling through this world. The place for us, our destination is Olam Haba. Chachamim also compare this world to Yom Shekulo Shabbat. What does this mean, Yom Shekulo Shabbat? It means that just like on Friday, we get ready for Shabbat and we cook, we clean, we bake, we do whatever needs to be done. And Chachamim tell us, Mi shetarach be'erev Shabbat, whoever prepared on Erev Shabbat, yochal be'Shabbat, is going to have something to eat on Shabbat since he worked on the Erev Shabbat. But if you did not prepare on the Erev Shabbat, what are you going to eat on Shabbat? Well, Chachamim explained to us that this world and the Olam Haba is the same. As if in this world, it's like an Erev Shabbat that we prepare the mitzvot, we prepare everything for Shabbat, which is Olam Haba. Shlomo HaMelech Kohelet wrote, he compared this world to Yabasha, which is dry land, and Yam, to the sea, to Olam Haba. Says anyone who wants to take a journey, wants to take a boat and travel by boat, he has to prepare. He has to put food in storage on the boat for him to be able to have some food to eat. And if he doesn't, he'll starve at sea. You won't have anything to eat, right? So for this lesson, I'm done. Hopefully next time I would like to explain about the nefesh that we have been talking about, neshama and nefesh. I would like to explain about this, and Be'ezrat Hashem, and I just wish again that one more time Hashem should, in the zechut of learning, that Hashem should listen to our prayers letova. He should send us parnasa tova, yeshuot, nachat, briut, and shiduchim, shalom, shalom bayit, ושנמצא חן בעיני אלוקים ובעיני אדם. Hashem should help us to get closer to Him and fulfill our duty carefully the way we should. Good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.